For years, the Chicago Bears, my hometown team, they were just written off as a rebuilding franchise. It was always maybe next year, maybe next year, maybe next year. They had some flashes of greatness, but and had potential that was there, but there was no real direction of where they were going, who they were going to bring in. It was just nothing. But now something has changed dramatically in a good way. And that change has affected the whole organization from the front office to the draft and to the coach on the field to the point now that this is a new Bears team. And this new Bear team, they kicking ass and taking names. What they've done this year has made everybody feel some type of way and go, we need to keep our eye on them. So let's break it down. Now, this photograph, y'all see this photograph. This was the 85 Bears, Mike Ditka. That's when they had the squad: Walter Payton, Jim McMahon, Refrigerator Perry, Mike Singletary, Richard Dent. They had all the guys, and they won that 85 Super Bowl. Never forget it. But then after years that they struggled to try to make the playoffs, just to even get good players to want to come there, they couldn't do it. But then they turned around and hired this man back in 2010, Lovie Smith. Now, people was aware of him, but a lot of Chicago's fans were like, all right, he's just going to be another guy going to come in, have a couple of years as a terrible coach. He's going to get fired and go someplace else. Because that was the culture surrounding the Bears at the time. Like, they draft and bring in all these coaches and players, but they go be great other places and shine, but not here. But Lovey made some changes and he did his thing. He took them to the Super Bowl, and they hadn't been in a while, in years. They turned around and lost, but that's another conversation for another day. But you got to give Lovey credit. He wasn't the best coach, but he did take them to the Super Bowl. And then after that, once again, no direction, didn't know where to go, didn't know what to do. Then they brought in, once again, new management. But this new management, they was making some changes and doing some things that kind of was a little bit raising eyebrows. And one of them things that they did was they drafted Caleb Williams, one of the top quarterbacks in the draft, had a lot of potential. Everybody was excited, but not as excited as they were, because the year before that we had another top quarterback from Ohio State. Oh, he gonna kill me. I forgot his name that quick. But we had him, and the problem with them was that, not saying that he was a bad quarterback, but he just didn't have the right direction. So when they drafted Caleb Williams, people were like, okay, this is going to be another case of, good players, bad coaching. And then they hired, at the time, Eberflus was the coach, was not a good choice. They got rid of him. And it left everybody wondering, okay, what are we doing here? It's deja vu all over again. But the management said, let's go a different route because we want to win. And in order for us to win, we got to have direction and we need to put the right people in place that's going to bring consistency. So they brought in this man, Ben Johnson, one of the top offensive coordinators in the league, very well respected. He did a hell of a job with the Detroit Lions, put Detroit back on the map. But then he left Detroit, and the Bears somehow, some way, thank God, got him to come here. And from day one, since Ben Johnson came in, he brought a whole new direction, new attitude that resulted in us doing some things that everybody was like, is this the same Bears team? No, it's not. But this is what happens when you stop being cheap and actually spend some money to get a real coach. Now, not to take anything away from Mike Dicker, not to take anything away from Lovie Smith, because those guys was good. But you need to bring in a coach that can understand the players, that can develop a good working relationship with them, that they respect, and that can get the job done. And so far this year, Ben Johnson has not disappointed at all. Even though we lost to the Rams, but he took this team and did a whole 180 turn. And mark my words, that come next season, you're going to see a totally different Chicago Bears team. This year was just getting the feet wet, understanding everybody, getting used to his style and system. But now they're one of the most they're back at that top as one of the most respected teams, which is going to draw real talent to want to come in and play for Ben Johnson and for the Bears. And I just say this is just my opinion. I could be wrong. I think that next year they're going to get further than what they got this year. And I would not be surprised if they either get to the Super Bowl or get one closer step to the Super Bowl. So we just have to sit back and see what's going to happen. But I'm excited. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts.